Hey fam, I hope you're doing well. I'm excited to be here with you tonight. I want to do something different than I usually do. Um, we have a full moon in Pisces coming up on, it'll be August 28th, 2026. So this message is not timeless, okay? I want to do it specifically for and around the energy of that full moon that is coming up. Yeah, so I don't usually like reading from the book. I find it annoying. But I took three cards from the Moonology Oracle, and I want to read from the book just a little bit about them to you. And then I want to pull some cards from the Unspoken Oracle to see what truths we might need to look at or what baggage we might need to release during this energy, or anything that might be coming in for us during this time that we need to be aware of. And also, at the end, I want to share something with you. Instead of doing the oracle cards at the end for advice or whatever, I would like to share with you something that I wrote after the full moon ritual that I did during the blue moon on May 31st. So, yeah, I was meditating with the energy of this moon, and with your energy, I was getting a lot of intuitive hits during that, and it just feels really important for those of you who want to take advantage of this energy. I am very in tune with the energy of the moon, particularly the full moon. And anyways, I'm going to post it a couple of days early so that you have plenty of time to prepare. If you would like to plan a simple ritual or meditation for during that full moon, and give you plenty of time to digest what we connect with here tonight. So, all right, I want to look at these cards and read just a little bit from the book, and I'll try to be a good reader so that it won't be annoying. Do you remember in class when the teacher used to call on you to read aloud? I don't know about you guys, but I would immediately get stage fright and the nervous sweats. I'm a really good reader, but I would panic and sound like I didn't know how to read. So anyway, I'll try to not to do that right now. So it won't be annoying. All right, the first card that I got out of the deck for us to look at is the full moon. Okay. The full moon is often the time when answers are given to questions asked during the new moon. So if you want to look back, if you journal or something, or if you just have a really good rememberer, maybe you can look at the date of the last new moon and see where you were at, things you were going through, maybe some questions that you asked of Source during that time. And the answers may be coming to you during this full moon energy. This energy also is a time of life coming to a head, a point of conclusion or a turning point. There may be some kind of change and possibly even some sort of emotional explosion. Matters will soon conclude, and you'll find out whether or not your wishes are going to come true. The odds are in your favor, but you may need to work harder than usual to keep to keep cool as events unfold. And then I thought this was a really good affirmation for us during this energy. I am getting the answers I need. So if you journal, you could write that down in your journal and use that as an affirmation. If you decide to do a full moon ritual, maybe you could make that part of that if you want to. You could also put it down in the comments if you'd like. Then the next card that I want to look at and talk about is the full moon eclipse, because I can't remember if I mentioned this or not, but this full moon in Pisces also is coming with a partial eclipse, right? So that is going to kind of make it a wild card, okay? The full moon eclipse. I love that card very much. That artwork is very beautiful. Full moons are nearly always about climaxes and very often about conclusions. Full moon eclipses are the same, but on steroids. A full moon eclipse can be hard to handle, but it portends change, something many of us are uncomfortable with, but change is part of life. Full moon eclipses can also give us a glimpse into what Carl Jung called the shadow self. This is a good time to work with your darkness. And then I thought this is another excellent affirmation for us during this time. That which is meant for me will not pass me by. And then the last one that I want to look at is the full moon in Pisces. Have you been so head in the clouds that you've lost touch with reality? If so, pay attention and make a concerted effort to move toward your goals. The more practical steps you can take at this time, the better. It's a good time to find an inner balance between your responsibilities and your dreams. Meditate on your question, and the solutions to your issue may now come through very clearly. Your intuition might be very heightened during this energy. It's also a really good time to pay attention to your dreams, because some things, particularly around love and romance, might be coming through to you in your dreams. The teaching from the full moon in Pisces is that Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. So the full moon in Pisces symbolically marks endings. When the moon is full in Pisces, it's a time to dive deep into your emotions. Practicality is at odds with the numinous Piscean energies that have no borders. So feel your way now. Your psychic ability is heightened when the full moon is in Pisces, and soulmates now connect. It's also a time to send out your dreams to the universe and to release your fears. Okay. What does the fam need to know during this full moon and partial eclipse in Pisces, please? What does the fam need to know during this full moon in Pisces and partial eclipse? If you are or have recently released someone, it's like that you've outgrown them and you understand. I'm seeing this in a romantic sense, but it doesn't have to be. Um, it so you have to. Sorry, my brain is having trouble staying on track right now. I felt very disrupted, interrupted, something, I don't know, when I was meditating beforehand as well. I thought it had calmed down, but maybe not. I might need to pause this and ground my energy and come back to it. I'll let you know. If you are or have recently released someone because you feel like you have outgrown them, you may be feeling guilty about that, about leaving them behind, or maybe someone tried to make you feel like you think you're better than them or something. They are allowed to feel how they feel. People are allowed to have their feelings, okay? You are also allowed to grow and progress and do your own journey. No one has to understand your journey except for you. And I find it very appropriate that the next card that came out says not everyone is meant to stay forever. Some people come to teach you something. This came out during the pre-shuffle also, and when I saw this, I heard that saying, some people are for a season, some are for a reason, and some are for a lifetime. The truth is more complicated than you think. If you have been functioning in a very rigid way of thinking or functioning, this is a good time to become more flexible in your thinking and way of functioning in the world. It is also a really good time to open your mind to new ideas, ways of thinking. That's going to be different for everyone, right? Because we're all having different experiences and different lives, right? So whatever that is that applies to you in your life, it's a really good time to open your heart to new ways of thinking, functioning, operating in the world, new ideas and opinions, belief systems, to just, well, I'm not going to say anything further on that. Running from your problems won't solve them. This is an excellent time, an excellent energy to really take an honest look at baggage that you have been carrying around for far too long. Take an honest and hard look at it and at yourself and release and or heal those things that have been weighing you down and are definitely not serving you anymore at this time, okay? Can you give us one more card? Wow, thanks. Yeah. You also might be reminiscing about things and people from your past during this time. I feel like all of these are super connected. It's okay to go down a memory lane, right? It's totally fine. but don't romanticize situations that weren't good for you. That weren't good for you. Don't romanticize situations and people that weren't good for you. However, it looks like for some of you, someone that you had an ending with might be coming back around in a new energy. Old person, new energy. And you have an opportunity to connect with them. Oops. If you want to, use your heart and your brain. Use your heart and your brain. If you're open to this, make sure that they have really changed, and that you guys are compatible and spiritually aligned, right? Vibrationally aligned. And it's also okay to hear them out and say thanks, but no thanks. Okay. That is where I'm going to stop. I hope this is helpful for someone. If you do any kind of ritual or meditation, I'd love to know what you're doing. That'd be great. I'd also like to know if you feel any kind of special connection with the energy from the moon. So, like I said, instead of getting oracle cards to close out the energy, I want to read something to you that I wrote. It was the blue moon on May 31st. I did a full moon ritual during that. So I also write prose poems to process pain and hurtful things, trauma. I've used that for a very long time to process difficult things in my life. Anyways, I've never shared any of my writings with anyone, so this is kind of weird and vulnerable for me. But I really felt like that's what I was supposed to do when I was meditating before I started your reading. So I'm going to listen to that. And yeah, and then I'll probably say goodbye really super fast because this feels uncomfortable for me, okay? Conversations with the moon. I sat with the moon last night. I bathed my crystals in scrying water in her light. I bared my heart and soul to her in her gentle stillness and next to my candlelight. I waited for her until I heard her reply. You are a healer. Healers need protectors. Wait for committed, consistency, dependable. If they cannot manage themselves, they cannot manage you too. I thanked her, blew out my flame, and said goodnight. Give me a hug, guys. I love you so bad. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. Let me know what you do with the full moon. I'll see you next time. Bye.